Hi everybody, this is Jazz aka Trend Trader for you. So this week I'm going to do analysis on S&P 500 futures instrument, or you can say S&P 500 cash index. And I'm going to actually look at in a bigger time frame, starting from big picture, which is the weekly time frame, going into the smaller picture, which is the daily time frame. The reason why it's so important that we are seeing somewhat of a direction change in the ES, and I'm going to try to explain it in a way where beginner can understand, at the same time an advanced trader can also benefit from this analysis. So let's start off by simply looking at the trend, right? Okay, looking at a trend from all the way from 2013. If you look at the trend was beautifully upward channel, okay, going up, down, creating demand and impulsive moves, followed by correction, impulse followed by correction, right? So that trend has somewhat of a deteriorated around this area, okay? We're changing the direction of a trend. So if you see in here that we're changing the direction from the up to the down move, okay? Let me go back a little bit, okay? Let me go back to where we actually pointed out a change in direction. I believe it was right around this area where the prices were unable to make another high above this 2134 area and just kept on turning to the downside. And now we're actually confirming that. So let me line up something, okay? Let me just gonna zoom in a little bit here and draw my tool. Let's draw some points. Let's connect some points, the lower highs, okay? So this in here is where the weakness started, okay? Once this price never closed above that, that was telling us that we are possibly trying to turn to the downside. Sure enough, we had another retest of this trend line to the bottom side, also creating lower. Let me do this real quick. Also creating lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, and lower highs, okay? So what we're seeing in here is somewhat of a change in the direction, obviously, especially from this last week's price action. I'm also going to point out a couple key candlesticks. So if you look at this, this is your bearish engulfing candle happening right at the resistance. The resistance is to the left of it. In fact, that's a bearish engulfing candle. But would you short this? No, there's no reason to short on this, only because you're still in an uptrend from the past, right? Still in an uptrend from the past, and this was the reason that you would have started shorting based on this bearish. Actually, this is a bearish harami, not a bearish engulfing. This is the red candle is engulfing this little body, which will consider this as a bearish engulfing. This is engulfed within this green body, so this will be a harami candle. So that was the indication of the somewhat of a downtrend in it, okay? Once this low was broken, that was confirmation that your downtrend has started. So now what we're seeing in here is, if you zoom in here, so that's all you really need to focus right now, okay? Let me actually take this out. All you need to focus on this right now. You had another retest of this trend line, putting in another lower high, bearish engulfing candle followed by, had a fake out to the upside, and then you had a huge high wave doji. In fact, there's a doji, and that's another high wave doji, followed by a bearish engulfing candle. So these are all the signs for weakness, right? Obviously, these are happening where we need to see them in an uptrend indicating that we are beginning to go to the downside. Again, all these are happening even though your trend was changed out here, but your trend in here, immediate trend, was uptrend, but you had a reversal of this candlestick, a bearish engulfing, high wave doji, another somewhat of a bearish engulfing candle, telling you that, okay, we're not making any more highs. So what is the direction? The direction is to the downside, okay? So let's go back. Let me just take these out. I'm gonna make somewhat of trend lines in here, and I'm gonna show you something a little bit. Let's connect this. You have this connection, you have this connection. Let's see if this breaks out of this somewhat of a triangle that is forming in here. Have you seen this 40 SMA on here on weekly chart? I'll let you figure it out what that is in here for, and I'll let you tell me about it, okay? That's a question to you guys. So in a weekly chart, where is the nearest support? Let's look at the nearest support in here. So the weekly support is right around this area. Okay, that's where the prices actually took a big move to the upside. So retest of that area, which could also possibly come into the retesting of this trend line, that's where you can start looking for possibilities of the long plays. However, the weekly trend, we want to use it for to determine the trend to the upside or to downside. To refine your entries, you need to go down into the smaller time frame, which is the daily time frame. So let's jump into the daily time frame, and knowing the perspective from the weekly time frame that we had a huge nice trend up. Okay, now we started making the lower highs and lower lows, so trend is somewhat of a weakening or going to the downside. Okay, that is the perspective you want to have from the weekly time frame, thinking about it at all times if you're trading, you know, ES, or if you're trading the SPY. So let's go down to the daily time frame, which is this right here. Okay, so now you're looking at a daily time frame with different kind of studies in there. You have a 200 SMA, 50 SMA, and a, actually this is a 50, and that's your 20 SMA. And I did do a post on I believe on Thursday night or something, talking about watch out from this area. If this fails, we're possibly more likely going to be looking at maybe 2000 level, and in fact the price actually came pretty close to that level. So let's zoom in and see where our support on a daily time frame is. Let me just get this tool. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the colors so that you know your weekly resistance and support are in green color, okay, and your daily support is in different color. Let's change that to a, let's just do pink. Okay. Okay, so that's your weekly, that's your daily support on here, that's your weekly resistance and weekly support line or trend line in here. So this is the reason why I have this. In fact, this is almost like a trap in here. You have this support in here, you have support under support, which is this, then you have another support under support. So this is where I'm focusing on. Okay, I'm not focusing on this, even though the price could bounce up from here, which more likely could happen. However, the true support that I'm looking for, where you could start saying, okay, this is where the swing type of trades could be initiated upon reversal. Obviously, you always want to look at a reversal before you get into a trade, but this is an area where I'm thinking about the price possibly technically could have a bounce out of this area. The reason why, if you look to the left of it, right, this was once your resistance area, and price moved out of it. Okay, price moved out of it and had an impulse move to the upside, retest, boom to the upside, then pull back, then another move to the upside. Now we're coming to an area where once was resistance could act as your new floor, right? This is simple concept, simple support and relationship, resistance relationship, that as a beginner or as an intermediate trader you should know. So I'm kind of giving clues for the beginner traders here, that understanding your support and resistance, your trends, are one of the most important things that you can tackle in the beginning of your trading career. Then you can add on, you know, all the extra tools like candlesticks, the SMAs, the volume, etc., etc. But try to understand what the support is, what the resistance is, and what a trend line is, or what just basically simple things are, like just like a trend. So you need to understand that before you move on to the intermediate and even to the advanced level. And I would consider advanced level going more into more like a day trading kind of a environment. So this is where I'm looking at possibly move to the upside. But here's the thing, guys, here's the thing. Even though you have a support here, you do have to look at, or you have to think about what's the weekly time frame, what's the weekly perspective of the trend is, which we already covered right now. So always have that in mind. Okay, even though if I am long in here, I really need to focus on also at the same time the shorting opportunities. Where would I be shorting if this is a support, rather than having the mindset of going long all times? You have to understand where are the shorting opportunities at the same time. So if you do go long, and if you find a good supply or resistance area, that's where you're going to be pulling out, right? That's where you're going to be taking profits. So it's important to have the whole picture. Okay, don't just say I'm going long always. You have to can you go long always? Yes, you can. In fact, mostly that's what I do. I just go long, but I try to find inverse of it. I could go long in UVXY, which is the volatility, right? I can go long in the UVXY while your S&P-Y is trending down. In fact, there was a lot of nice trades on Friday on UVXY. So this is where the support is. Wait for it. Okay, wait for the price to come in, wait for some kind of reversal, wait for the volume to pick up, wait for something where it helps you to determine, okay, you're getting an entry to the upside. But you have to, that's your support, okay, but you have to look at the immediate trend. Okay, so let's go back in here. Let me draw another trend line. Again, that will be your what? Your daily trend line. Actually, there's a couple of trend lines in here. There's one right there. Okay, so you can change these colors. Okay, change these colors to pink. The reason why I'm doing that is because I'll show you in a minute. Okay, if you go back into the weekly time frame, right, you're looking at this chart. Okay, you know what, people come in and are like, okay, what are these blue lines, what are these pink lines or green lines? You can easily tell by looking at the weekly time frame. Oh, okay, my pink lines are for the daily time frame, resistance, support level, and my green lines are for the weekly. So now you can go down into 1 hour. Okay, you can start drawing. Sorry guys, my computer just has some kind of a, well, TOS had some kind of a brain fart or something. So anyways, what I was saying, you can actually go down into smaller to bigger time frame and see that where these lines are coming from. Okay, the pink lines obviously from your daily, the green lines from your weekly, and then you can even go down into the hourly time frame to see, okay, I can draw another trend line. Let's just do this. Okay, and this will be coming from your hourly time frame based on the color of, let's just pick this. Okay, so now going back into daily, you can tell you don't see that in here. Actually, yeah, you don't see that in here. You have to really zoom in, but you can tell where your lines are coming from the daily, weekly, and in the daily time frame, okay, or the smaller time frame. So this is what I'm looking at. Okay, this is what I'm looking at to the downside. That is your immediate trend right now. That is what you want to be trading. So going back into the smaller time frame, let's just go back into the 30-minute time frame. Okay, let's see if there's some opportunities lining up in the smaller time frame. All I see is a beautiful downtrend, right? All you see is a beautiful downtrend. So why do you want to fight this trend? Only fight the trend when there is some kind of reversal happening in here. Maybe the break of the trend line, maybe something else that you look for when you're looking at to calling the bottom in a trade. Obviously, even in the bigger picture, you're seeing a little bit of the 30-minute time frame back into a few days before, even last week. It's all downtrend in here. So be careful when you try to pick out the bottom, or either it's a day or during the daily or the weekly time frame. So look for this, and possibly if the price does bounce back, you have another resistance area in here. So let's build that in here. That's your resistance. Okay, right around, let's do that one. So that's your daily support, that's your daily resistance. Price comes back in here. That was your past resistance, which could past support, which could now act as your new resistance, right? So the same support and a resistance relationship. If you just know that, there's all the other stuff that you can start putting in there. So also you also have your 200-day, all these SMAs lining up in here, which could also act as resistance. So that is basically overall analysis on the ES. Again, this is an analysis where if you were to sign up with some kind of paid membership, they should be providing that for you. Okay, very detailed one. Especially this is a very important time for all your services. If you're signed up with either whatever you pay monthly wise or yearly wise, this is some sort of analysis they should be providing. But here I'm just trying to educate the world so they can learn how to exactly learn the technical analysis by keeping it very simple. So that's it guys, and I'll talk to you guys later. Take care, and if you like the video on YouTube, press the like. If not, that's fine, or just press like anyway. Okay, all right guys, take care, and I'll talk to you guys later.